Hello and welcome to Tea. Really? Same shit as last time, huh?
Uh-huh.
Hello and welcome to Tea is Good, Books Are Better, the podcast where we drink tea and talk about books. I'm Raven.
I'm Jessica.
What are we drinking today?
I'm actually drinking kombucha.
Oh,
It's ginger lemon green tea kombucha.
interesting. Did you give Mom the same one?
I gave her ginger turmeric.
Okay.
Did she dump it out?
She gave it to me.
Okay. She didn't seem at all interested.
Yeah, it's an interesting taste. I couldn't finish it. Like, once it got even the slightest bit warm, like room temperature, I was like,
Oh,
this is vile.
put it back in the fridge. Drink it the next day.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was pretty decent when it was
Mhm.
when like ice cold.
Yeah.
It was like
Like,
fresh.
think of it like drinking yogurt, you know. Have some, put it away.
Mm. Yeah, but it's like not really enough to like put away for another day because it's like
Oh, he
one or
drank
two
most of it.
sips, yeah, type
Oh,
of
okay.
thing. So probably not gonna do that. But anyway, I'm drinking just some chamomile, but it is a different brand than I usually get.
Cool.
I usually get the Twinings or Twinnings,
Yeah.
and this one is Stash.
Ooh, I've heard of Stash. I see that all the time at the stupid store.
It's good.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like I don't really notice the difference. So,
Chamomile is chamomile. And unless you get like really good chamomile is gonna taste like chamomile.
yeah. Well, the one from Twinings was like chamomile, honey, vanilla.
Ooh,
So that
that's
one,
fancy.
I feel like I didn't like it as much as regular chamomile, which is kind of strange because I love honey and I love vanilla.
Mm-hmm. That
But
is weird.
I guess chamomile is like kind of already perfect on its own. So if you mess with it,
Yeah.
even with yeah, even
Just
with good
fucking with
shit,
it.
it's not gonna end up good. All right, so where did we leave off our characters, Jess? We have a lot of long chapters
Yeah. I
today.
don't know who we're gonna do today. Let's assume Bran, Davos, and John.
Yes.
Okay. Last time, Bran agrees to go north of the wall in search of the three-eyed crow.
Mm-hmm.
Davos makes it back to Dragonstone with plans to kill Melisandre. Melisandre. And then John.
Oh, Davos
Man,
gets caught. Don't forget.
did he get caught in the last?
Yep.
I don't call. Okay, so he got caught too. Mance finds the remains of the Night's Watch at the Fist of the First Man, calls out John for lying to him, and Egret basically manages to manipulate John into sleeping with her.
Ew.
Ooh, kind of creepy.
Yeah. I mean, if you like change the roles, it's weird and
It
not
is
okay.
double standards.
Yeah. All right. Starting off with Bran. Bran, Mira, Jojen, Hodor, and Summer travel through the Wolf's Wood, Flint Hills, and mountains. They lose their way once or twice, but they find it again by looking up in the sky for the star called the Ice Dragon, which points north. Fun fact, George R.R. Martin actually wrote a short story called The Ice Dragon,
Oh,
which I have read, but I do not remember
oh,
anything about a star.
oh.
But I could just be forgetting. It's been a really long time since I read it. It was Osha who told Bran that the ice dragon points north. He wonders where she is now. He pictures her safe in White Harbor with Rickon and Shaggy Dog, eating delicious meals with fat Lord Manderley, or perhaps lounging by the fire with the Great John at the last hearth. Traveling through the high glens does not always lead straight north, and they often find themselves going long leagues in the wrong direction, sometimes forcing them to double back. Bran whines about taking the King's Road. They would already be at the wall by now if they did. He wants to find the three-eyed crow and learn to fly already. Also, food is becoming an issue. Mira and Summer are both great hunters, but here in the mountains game is scarcer. They often go to sleep with empty bellies. Still, Jojen is determined to stay away from roads. He says travelers will see them and spread tales of the crippled boy, his giant, and the wolf that walks beside them. Yeah, they kind of stand out.
Yep.
Once, Mira wonders if anyone lives up here in the mountains, and Bran tells her that there are people. The Umbers sometimes, the Wolves, Harclays, Knots, Littles, Norries, and Flints. These sound like hobbit names.
They do.
Mira and Jojen remember a Theo Wool who rode with their father during the war. They used to call him Buckets because that was the sigil of the Wolves. 3 brown buckets on a blue field. I didn't know if any of that was important, but it felt important, so I decided to include it. One day we'll see the 3 brown buckets on a blue field and we'll be like, it's the Wolves.
So dumb. Who would...
It's
Why?
a really lame sigil.
Why did you choose 3 buckets?
I wonder if there are any rules to choosing a sigil, other than, like, not choosing what something that another family has already. Not choosing something that another family has, is what I was trying to say.
I got you. I wonder what their house motto is.
Ooh, probably, like, fling the muck out
We will not drown.
in muck.
We can carry lots of water. You thirsty?
Yeah, thirsty bitch. Jojen wonders suddenly if the mountain folk know they're here. Bran says they do. He's seen them through Summer's eyes. But he says they won't bother them as long as they don't try to steal any livestock. They only encounter a mountain person once, when it's raining and they're looking for shelter. Summer finds them a cave, and there's a man already inside, who Bran thinks is a little. He invites them to share his fire and offers them food and drink.
Is a little?
Yeah, that's one of the, like, families that lives in the mountains. The
Oh.
Littles.
Okay.
What'd you think I was saying?
So you mean like he's a dwarf? What?
Oh my god. It's little spelt with 2 D's. Little.
Oh, little.
Not little. Little. Maybe that's why I thought it sounded like a hobbit name. Little.
That'd be funny.
They chat for a bit and the man mentions flayed men riding the King's Road. When Jojen questions him, the man says they are the Bastard's men. He was dead, but now he's not, and he's paying good silver for wolf skins.
Uh-oh. It's the bastard.
The man also mentions that the wall isn't too far as the raven flies, but he wouldn't go there. The old bear took the watch north of the wall, and all that's come back were his ravens, with hardly a message between them. Sam's ravens!
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
There should be like just one message of all of them. Is that the only... I think he only got one message out.
Yeah, he sent out the first one, which was like, we've been attacked.
Yeah.
And the rest of them, he was supposed to, like, send out the updates or whatever.
Straight up panicked and let them all go.
Something like that,
Okay.
yeah. The man says things were different when there was a Stark in Winterfell. Jojen says the wolves will come again, for he's dreamt it. The next morning, the little is gone, but he leaves some food for them.
Fine.
What a nice-ass dude.
What a bro.
Yeah. Bran decides that there will be Starks in Winterfell again, and the Littles will be paid back 100-fold when there is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who remembers that?
Me too. And I also, like, was that guy actually a Little? That was never confirmed. That was just Bran's suspicion.
True.
Yeah. And will we ever see him again?
Ooh.
During their travels that day, they spot an eagle. Bran wants to join it in the sky. Ooh. That's something the Green Seers could do, but no matter how he tries, nothing happens. And he's disappointed when it's gone. Mira says they'll see more, and Hodor says Hodor, which Bran agrees with by also saying Hodor.
He's cute.
Jojen says he thinks Hodor likes it when Bran says his name, but Bran reveals that's not his name. It's just a word he says. His real name is Walder.
Walder Frey?
I guess.
That'd be funny if he actually was one. I'd be like, what the fuck?
If he was a Frey.
Yeah.
I mean, anything can happen. Who knows with these... with this story. So, Old Nan is the one who told him about Hodor's real name.
Mm-hmm.
Bran thinks about Old Nan, which makes him sad, and he wonders if she's still alive.
Doubt it.
Did you really? I was like, this badass old lady is never gonna die.
Oh.
Mira says to remember her stories, and that will keep her alive inside Bran. He asks if the Reeds know any stories, and it turns out they do. He asks to hear one about knights. They don't have knights in the neck, but Mira does recall one story about the Knight of the Laughing Tree. Jojen, for some interesting reason, is convinced that Bran must have heard that tale 100 times, though.
Oh.
Bran says he hasn't, so Mira starts to tell it. Basically, there's a man in the neck, a Crannog man, who knows the magic of the Crannogs, whatever that is. But he wants to learn more, so he visits the Isle of Faces. Bran knows that's where the Green Men live. Mira says he did meet the Green Men there, but that's another story, and it isn't about knights. She says the Crannog man left the isle in the spring and reached a shore with a castle with high towers, the greatest castle in all the world. Bran thinks she means Harrenhal, but she doesn't confirm it. There's a tourney taking place at the castle. The king himself is there, and many powerful families. While the little Crannog man was walking across the field, he was set upon by 3 squires, who snatched his spear, shoved him to the ground, and cursed him for being a frog-eater. A she-wolf arrives, a 2-legged she-wolf, so a Stark, right?
Yeah, it was, yep.
She fights off the squires, saying that's her father's man they're beating up. She takes him back to her pack brothers, and they clean him up and invite him to the feast in Harrenhal that night. So Mira does eventually confirm that it is Harrenhal.
Oh. Did you describe the Pack Brothers?
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't. Was it important?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, excuse me, fine. Let me go back and find the description of the Pack Brothers.
She had 3 brothers, 2 older, 1 much younger.
Oh. Wait, what? What? That's it? That's the only description?
One, I think the eldest was described as being like a total alpha. And then like the middle boy is described as being quiet and sullen. And the youngest was far too young.
Oh, shit. Was this... Oh, shit. Okay, was this Brandon and Eddard?
Yeah, that's Lyanna. His
And
tail.
Lyanna.
And I'm pretty sure the Crannog man is their father.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay, so that explains why Jojen is so... Like, you've never heard this story, Brad?
Yeah, like he's out of it. Like, you should have heard this before.
Yeah, especially that's his father. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes so much more sense now. Oh my god, me and my small brain. Didn't even pay attention.
His tail is important.
Yes.
I think.
Okay, I will keep going.
Okay.
Yes, so at the feast, the little Crannog man spies the 3 squires who attacked him. One serves a pitchfork knight, one a porcupine, and the last a knight with 2 towers on his surcoat, which Bran recognizes as the Freys. Do we know the other 2, though? A pitchfork knight and a porcupine?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Me neither.
Me neither.
Anyway, one of the wolf brothers says he could find the Cranogman a horse and some armor that might fit. The little Cranogman thanks him, but gives no answer. Cranogmen are smaller than most, but just as proud. He's no knight and rarely rides. He knows he would only make a fool of himself and shame his people. That night he looks across the water to the Isle of Faces and says a prayer to the old gods of North and Neck. Jojen asks Bran if he really never heard this tale from his father, Lord Eddard. Bran says it was old Nan who told stories and asks Meera to go on. And, wow.
Like, shut up, Jojen.
Yeah, I was like, why is Jojen so shocked that Bran hasn't heard this story? What does it mean? Oh, what a simple, easy answer.
Keep going. I'm going to find the page that describes it as definitely the... I have everyone down. God, 340.
Okay. During the second day of the tourney, a mystery knight shows up, which isn't entirely uncommon. But Bran is convinced it's the little Cranogman. Meera says no one knew, but he was short and clad in ill-fitting armor. And on his shield was a heart tree of the old gods, a white weirwood with a laughing red face. Bran then wonders if he came from the Isle of Faces. Perhaps the old gods sent him. Meera goes on, saying the mystery knight challenges 3 knights. The Porcupine Knight, the Pitchfork Knight, and the Knight of the Twin Towers. And the mystery knight defeats them all. Totes.
Get some!
When the fallen knight seeks to ransom horse and armor, the Knight of the Laughing Tree says they should teach their squires honor. That shall be ransom enough. What would it mean to ransom his horse and armor? Just like give it up to the Knight of the Laughing Tree?
I think so. Ransom?
Yeah.
I would think so. Maybe they didn't have the gold to give him his winnings. So they're like, okay, here's the horses, I guess.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So the defeated knight chastised... Excuse me. The defeat... Let me try again. The defeated knights chastise their squires sharply, and their horses and armor are returned. And so the little Cranogman's prayer was answered. Bran decides it's a good story, but he asks what happened after. Did the Knight of the Laughing Tree win the tourney and marry a princess? Meera says no. In fact, the Storm Lord and the Knight of Skulls and Kisses swear to unmask him, and the king himself urges men to challenge him, declaring that the face behind that helm is no friend of his. But the next morning, the Knight of the Laughing Tree was gone. Bran is disappointed. He says it should have been the 3 bad knights who hurt the Cranogman, not their squires. Then the little Cranogman could have killed them all, and the mystery knight should win the tourney, defeat every challenger, and name the wolf... The wolf... What the fuck did I write here?
No idea.
I wrote the wolf mane. That is not what I was trying to say, but I don't remember what I was trying to say.
I think maid.
Oh, yes, the wolf maid. Thank you. Okay, so the mystery knight should win the tourney, defeat every challenger, and name the wolf maid the Queen of Love and Beauty. Meera says she was, but that's a sadder story. Oh my god, this makes so much more sense. Jesus Christ. I'm so stupid. Jojen once again asks if Bran is certain his Lord Father never told this story to him, and Bran confirms it. He's never heard this story before. Bran?
George is like, hint, 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 hint.
Yeah, oh my god. Okay, let me just finish this and then we can delve into this more. Bran thinks that if the little Cranogman could visit the Isle of Faces, maybe he can too. Maybe the green men can help him walk again. They turned the little Cranogman into a knight, even if only for a day. A day of walking would be good enough for Bran. Okay, so, you've blown my mind again, and I'm like, I have a headache, and I feel so stupid. Oh my god, okay, so...
I can read the...
Yeah, do it.
The passage. Oh, her pack brothers. The wild wolf who led them, the quiet wolf beside him, And the pup, who is the youngest of the four, is like smallest description. But I'm pretty sure I saw
Okay. Yes.
Ned and Brandon.
Yeah.
And then
Alright.
like the dragon prince.
The Dragon Prince, I thought like sounded like
Rhaegar.
Rhaegar, but I was like, nah, this has to be like way in the past. But it makes so much more sense, especially if I'm trying not to give anything away, but especially if, you know, that person was there.
And then like the sad story of the
Lyanna.
Lyanna being named whatever that
The Queen
prize
of Love and
is.
Beauty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that being a sadder story.
Wait, so does this mean the Reeds know
Probably.
the truth?
I think they do.
What?
I really do.
Yeah, because if
Their
they
father is the only one who knows.
What the fuck? Because, yeah, if they know that Lyanna was named the Queen of Love and Beauty, then they have to know.
Yeah. And I just remember from the show, like, their father is the only one who was there, like, who lived, who was there, who saw what happened with Lyanna
Bruh.
at the end. So I'm pretty sure they do know.
Bruh, stop. I was, like, reading through these chapters and, like, remembering the mind-blowing shit we had in the last episode.
Yeah.
And thinking to myself, like, there's nothing so mind-blowing in these ones. That's kind of disappointing. I'm eating my words now. What the fuck? What the fuck? How does... Oh!
Read between the lines.
Yeah, like I can't even... Just... I'm looking at it from a writing perspective right now, and I'm like, how does he do all of this?
Planning.
Yeah, but that's so insane. How... What? How do you... Ugh!
Like, to drop clues like that, you have to, like, really know what's going on in your story. Like, no last-minute changes or that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I don't... It's so... I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm just... Subtext is not always easy. I find it difficult, actually.
Yeah.
But, like... for those who don't know, subtext is, I guess, like, the... what's not being said. Like, kind of the hidden meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the subtext that George R.R. Martin manages to cram into not only every chapter, but every fucking sentence is insane.
My gosh.
And I'm like shook. I want to like pick his brain so bad. Be like, how long have you like had this story in your head before you started writing, and like how long did you let it sit before you started writing, like how many rewrites did you do? And I just have so many questions.
That'd be interesting to listen to.
And yeah, like does this take like concentration, and like is this something that you have to work at to like capture this much subtext, or does this just come naturally to you? Does this just flow out of your magic fingers?
I'd be interested to know too.
Yeah. Oh my god. This is bananas.
George.
Blow up the podcast so we can get his attention. Never in a million years.
Answer us.
Please. All right. That's enough, Bran. Anyway, thank you for blowing my mind.
Welcome.
Next we have Davos. Oh, this one's actually not that long. Davos is in a cell beneath Dragonstone. When they first brought him here, he was sick, and he thought he would perish alone in the dark. However, Maester Pylos brings him milk of the poppy, and they leech him and feed him well. It soon becomes clear they are keeping him alive for some unknown purpose. There are no windows, and he can't tell night from day except by his jailers when they switch shifts. Although Davos asks them for news of the war and his son, they never speak to him.
No.
But one night, Melisandre comes to visit him. He asks if she's come to burn him. She goes to the torch in the wall sconce and says that small fire is all that stands between him and the darkness, and she asks if she shall put it out. Davos says no, and she seems pleased by this answer, and says it seems he's come to love the fire. She says she's like the torch. Both of them are instruments of R'hllor. Am I saying that right? R'hllor. R'hllor. R'hllor.
Sure.
She says she and the torch were made for a single purpose, to keep the darkness at bay. Davos doesn't believe that.
He's like, sure, buddy.
He says she's the mother of darkness. He saw that under Storm's End when she gave birth to that that shadow demon. Melisandre tells him to relax, as that won't happen again. She says, "The king's fires burn so low I dare not draw off any more to make another son. It might well kill him." However, she says another man whose flames still burn hot could serve Stannis' cause. She tells Davos to come to her chamber one night and she will give him pleasure he's never known. How's he supposed to come to her chamber when he's locked in jail?
Got him.
Dumbass. But Davos says she will make a horror and he wants nothing to do with it or her god. He says, "May the seven protect me." And Melisandre's like, "Why do you cling to these false gods?" And he says he's worshipped them all his life. Melisandre says he's lying to himself. She says the night is dark and full of terrors, the day bright and beautiful and full of hope. One is black and the other is white, ice and fire, hate and love, bitter and sweet, male and female, evil and good, death and life. Everywhere opposites, everywhere the war. She says there are two, not seven, not one, two gods. R'hllor, the Lord of Light, and the great other, whose name may not be spoken, the Lord of Darkness. Okay, Voldemort. She says their choice is not between Baratheon and Lannister, Greyjoy and Stark. She hasn't come to Westeros to put another vain king on yet another empty throne. Davos is still doubtful, but Mel appreciates his honesty. She then asks why he meant to kill her. Davos says he'll tell her if she reveals who betrayed him. Melisandre says no one betrayed him. She saw his intent in her flames. Davos demands to know why they lost on the Blackwater if she can see the future in her flames. And she basically says it was because she wasn't with them. Stannis was surrounded by non-believers. He was proud and he was punished for it, but he has learned from his mistake. She says Stannis is the Lord's chosen, the warrior of fire. She's seen him leading the fight against the dark in her flames. She says the flames do not lie. He is Azor Ahai reborn. She knows Davos still doubts, but he has served him all the same and will serve him again. Then she leaves. Davos can't deny the power of her god. He's seen the creature that crawled out of her womb, and she knows things she has no way of knowing. But he is glad to know that Salladhor Saan didn't betray him, at least. But he doesn't like the idea of Melisandre knowing all his secrets, and is confused and disturbed by her saying he has served already and will serve again. I was also very confused by that.
Yeah.
I was like, huh?
You served already?
So he served R'hllor, the Lord of Light?
Yeah, apparently he already served his purpose. And now he's got more to do? What did he do? What did he do?
Maybe it was the battle on the Blackwater?
Me?
Because he kind of like, maybe he was like supposed to die there or something. I don't know.
Oh.
What else, like, No, because they lost that battle and Melisandre like doesn't seem happy with the way that battle played out, so.
Was his purpose to hold her hand while she birthed the shadow demon?
He didn't hold her hand. But he like, yeah, I guess he took her to that spot like underneath the
He was all like, do the breathing. Helping her breathe.
Oh my god, now there's a cartoon ready to be animated. Someone please animate this. Davos guiding Melisandre through her birth.
Oh man. That would be easy.
Yeah, you could be right. It could be that. Okay. 3 days later, Davos hears voices coming from outside his cell and the sounds of a struggle. A man's voice pleads and shouts. 2 guardsmen come into view, dragging a prisoner between them. Sir Axel Florent follows behind. The prisoner says he's no traitor and demands to be released. He asks for Selyse, the queen, but the guards pay him no mind. The prisoner is clearly highborn from his speech. The guards toss him into Davos' cell and lock up behind him. The prisoner shouts that he's the king's hand.
Oh?
Oh?
Someone replaced Davos for a short amount of time, obviously. Was Davos the hand yet, or no? Am I getting ahead of myself?
I don't think so. I'm like, wait, what?
Well, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Spoilers.
Woo!
Davos is like, you're Alistair Florent. Davos introduces himself, and Alistair recognizes his name as the man who tried to kill Melisandre. Davos doesn't deny it. They talk a bit about the battle in Blackwater and the effects of the war on themselves personally and their families. Lord Alistair eventually admits that Stannis will never sit the Iron Throne. His fleet is gone, and most of the lords who supported him have gone over to Joffrey or died. He says he wrote a letter to Lord Tywin with terms that Lord Stannis give up his claim to the Iron Throne and retract all he said of Joffrey's bastardy, on the condition he be accepted back into the king's peace and confirmed as Lord of Dragonstone and Storm's End, and they would seal the bargain by wedding Shireen to Tommen. Even Davos sees that these terms were probably the best that they could get. He asks what Stannis said when Alistair proposed the terms. Alistair admits he didn't tell Stannis, since he's always with the Red Woman and isn't in his right mind. Davos says it isn't in Stannis to yield. He would rather die a king. Alistair asks if Davos wants to die with him, and Davos says no, but he is the king's man and will make no peace without his leave. And Lord Alistair starts to weep. Damn. He went behind his back.
And when I first read this, I read Sir Alistair Thorne, and I was like, whoa, what happened here?
Oh. Like Alistair Thorne from
Yeah,
the Night's
Alistair
Watch?
Thorne, yeah. I'm like, is he here to spread the word of the others or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like really confused at first.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
Any other takeaways from this chapter?
Yes.
Oh,
I just picked it up when you were talking about Melisandre.
Mm-hmm.
She mentioned like the main antagonist of her religion is called the Great Other.
So,
okay. Is that the Night King?
Oh. Bitch.
Huh?
Bitch. Okay, you know what I was just thinking?
Uh-huh.
Okay, when I read that part, I was like, okay, it's interesting. Like, she's kind of talking about how she's, like, not about playing this game of Thrones. She's, like, fighting the real war, you know?
Yeah.
And so that made me think. I was like, that's kind of what, like, the Night's Watch is all about.
This is why I'm, like, really into the Azor Ahai, or whatever it is, like, the legend of him, and why I was kind of disappointed, like, it kind of fizzled out and died in the show. Like, we didn't go far at all with that.
Right.
I was bringing that up, like, last time, like there's hints in the show of who it might be, and like, and it just like fizzled out with everything else in the show.
Yeah, they're just like, forget that, we don't need it.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious to find out, like, if there is an actual, like, Azor Ahai.
Well, spoilers.
In the books.
It's Stannis, fool.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
well,
but
I
yeah.
don't think anyone thinks it's Stannis.
Let me finish what I was saying before I forget.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was like thinking, it sounds like what the Night's Watch is all about. They're like, we protect the realm. Like, we're the ones who are really protecting the realm type of thing from like the real threat. And like, this is like the real war, like the one that's like north of the wall.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, okay, so this kind of sounds, her philosophy about this sounds like the Night's Watch's philosophy about their war. And I was like, comparing them, and you just, with you saying that about it being the great other, made me realize, oh, I guess it is the same war.
Yeah. Like, they're talking about like this thing going to bring the great darkness. It sounds a lot like that. Like, it goes deep into like Westerosi lore.
Right.
But the White Walkers, or the others, as they call it in the books, call them in the books.
And that's definitely like the reason I think you're like 100% right is because there's no way that that would be just a random word being used. The great other, like, there's that was obviously intentional. And it kind of lines up also with how Melisandre kind of goes about things in the final season of Game of Thrones as well.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with like Azor Ahai, but with like her purpose or whatever.
Yeah, like her own whatever she's, her shenanigans.
So
yeah. Time for one mo.
Yeah, I think so. Let me check.
One mo.
Yeah, we can do it.
Damn, 3 chapters.
Wow, I feel like it's been a while.
Our listeners are spoiled.
All right, chapter 26.
It's Jon.
Oh.
Hey, so it's nighttime and they're staying in a cave. And it's like just like it's kind of close to the wall. The next morning they're gonna climb the wall. So Jon goes out to search for ghosts. Looking up at the sky, he thinks about how the wildlings have their own names and stories for the constellations. And of the nights he spent with Ygritte and how they've been fucking like a pair of rabbits. And I think like he had like this little like thing where he was like, it's really interesting to think about like how other cultures have different stories for the same things. Like, we all look at the same things, but like there's different tales for them.
Right. And like he thinks about the Ice Dragon Star as well. The one that I mentioned in Bran's chapter.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. He finds Ghost, and then he like tries to explain to him that they need to separate the next day.
No!
No?
Sorry.
No?
No, I'm just upset. Like, they're separating. No!
He's like, Doge, we gotta separate.
No.
Because they're gonna climb the wall, and Ghost has to find his own way around.
I don't like it.
Ghost runs off, and Jon's like left wondering if he understood and if he really is a warg, like the wildlings say.
Right. Okay, bye.
Jon feels conflicted about sneaking with a group of wildlings over the wall, and he thinks about how he should have killed Mance on the fist, even if it meant risking his own life. He also feels guilty about his relationship with Ygritte, and constantly thinks about the vows he's broken by sleeping with her. He had initially told himself that it'll just be the one time, but then they ended up freaking like 2 more times that night, and then again in the morning.
Damn! 3 times in one night? Jon.
Well, what? He's 16? Not surprised.
True.
Whenever she kisses him, he instantly forgets about his vows, and he wonders if that is how his father felt when he dishonored Catelyn.
Right.
The Magnar of Fen sends for Jon the next morning, and he wants to know more of how the wall switch rolled, when and how often, and all that jazz. So John explains the patrols while focusing on keeping his face blank, then is eventually dismissed. The Magnar does not trust him. John knows to be cautious with the Thenn because they're known to be smart and very formidable in battle. Or not battle, like fights, because they're wildlings, don't battle. The
Wait, what does that
Magnar,
mean?
like I mean like wars, like one army and then another army and they battle. Like they don't do that, but they fight.
Okay.
They kill. I don't know what you call it. Like
Yeah.
maybe like 10 guys versus 10 guys is probably the best they get. I don't know.
Okay.
Is that a battle? 10 guys versus 10 guys?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know. What's the definition of a battle?
It's a rumble. Okay. They're very formidable. in
Let's get
rumbles.
ready to rumble.
Oh, anyways. The Magnar is treated like a god and he commands absolute respect and obedience from the rest of the Thenns. So
Wait,
he's
what
like,
are the
kind of like-
Thenns?
They're like a clan of wildlings that apparently live in the harshest mountains with giants and stuff, and they're like just all I know is that they're like very formidable and have a lot of wildlings have a lot of respect for them.
Okay.
Is that the right thing to say? Yeah. So he heads back to the cave to find Ygritte, and one of the Thenns points deeper in the cave, saying that she went down there. Ooh, I might not have mentioned this, but the group of wildlings he's with are all Thenns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, how did he like separate from Mance and shit again?
So Mance is like, to prove you're trustworthy, you're going over the wall with these Thenns.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Ygritte went with him because she's his.
Yes. Okay.
As she likes to say. She vouched for him that they're frickin'.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he's going deeper in the cave to find Ygritte. He wanders into the dark until he hears her laugh and follows that, and he finds a dark hole hidden under a rock. He crawls in. No, he calls in, and she answers. So he crawls in the tiny hole, which I cannot imagine doing.
Oh, he
Just-
crawls in the tiny hole, all right.
Nice one.
Da-da-da.
Man, my nightmares are of like having to crawl into tiny holes in the earth.
Ugh.
Oh, it just makes my skin crawl like that.
Yeah.
That would make me panic instantly.
That's
Cannot imagine. I'm pretty sure I've said this a few times on this podcast. Like that is a fear.
Yeah, fuck that.
Okay, so he crawls in like a crazy person after pussy, and it leads to a little room with a small waterfall and a pool, lit only by Ygritte's torch.
Oh.
She points further down to the darkness and says that there's a passage that goes down further, and explains that there are hundreds of caves under them that all connect down deep, and that there's even a passage that leads under the wall called Gorn's Way.
Ooh.
John recognizes the name Gorn as a previous king beyond the wall who led a host of wildlings with his brother Gendal through the caves under the wall, and he killed the king of the north, whose son then killed Gorn in turn.
Did you remember how they killed
Poked him with the pointy end. Oh, no.
him? Did you
Beheaded him?
No, did you read the part about them trapping him under the wall?
That's not.
Oh, was that
That's
someone
something
else? Oh, sorry. My bad.
Gorn was killed by the king
Okay.
with a swordie.
Oh,
And then-
yes. Okay.
John remembers that then his no, Gorn killed the king beyond. No, Gorn killed the king of the north, and then the king of the north's son killed Gorn.
Yes. That's what you
Right.
said.
Okay. I confused myself. So, and Ygritte tells him that Gendal escaped and led his people back to the caves, but he did not know the caves like his brother, and he took a wrong turn, and they eventually got lost. And she tells him, if you listen closely, you can still hear Gendal's children's children sobbing in the dark.
Ew.
And she's holding the torch under her chin too while she's telling the story.
Of course. She's like, boo.
John asks if the way under the wall is lost, and Ygritte tells him that some have looked for it, but those who go too deep find Gendel's hungry children. Ooh. Ygritte takes off her clothes, and John sees her naked for the first time, and he forgets everything other than her blank mind. He admires her body. He goes down on her. After she is almost shy, and she teases him about being his first. It's like, oh, you were a maid. I don't think I ever write this in my summaries, but like I think every time she speaks to him, she says, "You know nothing, Jon Snow," at least once.
Yeah.
Like every time.
Yeah.
Like, and then he remembered their first time. He's like remembering her saying, "You know nothing, Jon Snow, but I'll teach you."
But I'll teach you.
Where am I? She explains to him that no one has relations from the same village in wildling culture, and that's why stealing women is a thing. They don't do the same village relations because there's a chance of incest. Yeah. So it's to keep the bloodline strong, whatever the fuck. Before going back up, she asks him to give her the Lord's kiss again. I'm gonna call it that from now
The Lord's kiss. Oh my god, that's good. Get home from a long day of work. I need my Lord's kiss.
Lord's kiss? I can go for a Lord's kiss.
Oh, I could really go for a Lord's kiss just about now. Oh my god. She's like, that's something that she's like never experienced before.
No, just frickin'.
I guess cunnilingus wasn't really a thing. I mean, or else people just didn't talk about it. But I think it's more likely that the woman's pleasure didn't matter.
Yeah, and the guys just want to hump.
Yeah.
And John wonders why the gods made sex so good if it's so wrong. Their torch burns out, and then they have to get dressed and leave in the pitch dark. Before they leave, though, Ygritte tells them that she never wants to leave this cave ever.
Aww. And then he blows his load inside her. He really does, though, because I was like, he's gonna
knock her up.
Yeah. Does he not know, like, about pulling out? Because we've discussed this, and we now know that pulling out was a thing people knew about, but they just didn't care enough.
Or the guys were making excuses, like, oh, it's not in my nature. I'm a man. I can't. It feels too good.
Yeah, but it's Jon. He, like, the last thing he wants is to make a bastard.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he goes deep in a description of what they're doing. Maybe Ygritte wants his child if she's not telling him to pull out. She's the boss.
I guess. It's just... It's weird for me to, like... For him to be all like, I could never, like, father a bastard. I would never do that to a child. And then it's like... Oh, I'm horny. Now I'm gonna blow my load inside you.
He's just forgetting everything. And his brain goes blank. All he sees is titties and poo.
Titties and poo.
Titties and poo.
Bobs and poo.
Bobs. No, Bobs and vagine.
Bobs and vagine. Yep. Is that it? Is there more?
Oh, that's it. It was a chapter mostly about sex.
Nice.
Yep.
Those are my favorite. Just
Very
kidding. The next chapter is my fucking favorite.
Oh, Danny? Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I guess we can, like, do our updates now.
Oh,
What's new with you?
Oh, shoot. Well, I made a stupid mistake today.
Ooh, what do you mean?
It's my job is getting a taco truck to come and feed us all tacos
Okay.
and whatnot. And like we had to like fill out like a form with our orders, and like I ordered 3 tacos, a churro, and a burrito.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it was like last week, and my manager was like telling me about it. It's like, oh, it's me on Tuesday, and I'm like so excited, pumped. I didn't bring a lunch today. I'm so excited for my tacos. No, fuck me. It's next fucking Tuesday.
No.
Didn't bring a fucking lunch. Man, I was freaking
Oh,
bummed as fuck.
that
I'm just so
sucks.
lucky. Like last minute before I like ran out the door, I was like, you should bring a snack just in case like the taco truck gets in the accident and there's no food. Just bring a snack. Bring some popcorn. I grabbed like my bag of like kettle corn popcorn, run out the door, and that was my lunch.
So you had popcorn for lunch.
Yeah, wasn't enough.
Aw.
And like by the end of my lunch, I was like, after I finished the bag, I was fucking starving. I was so miserable. I wanted my taco.
No. That sucks.
Man.
That's kind of like weird though, because today like a few people in my department were like organizing food trucks to come to our dealership. Is that weird?
I guess not. I guess managers or owners do that for their workers, I guess. I've heard of it before in like other places, and we've done it before as well at my place.
It's
We've
just
had a
weird
food
to
truck
me
come.
that like this is the first time I've ever experienced that with a company, and it's the same day that you're telling me about your
Oh,
taco truck thing.
well, I think because you're used to working at what
In retail.
jobs that don't really care about their employees, where employees are expendable.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that about the places I've worked.
Oh,
Like
really?
the last spot, and before that, I mean, they'd bring in food sometimes, but it was definitely not like often.
Food truck quality.
No.
Not that food trucks are all good. Some are
And I was like in a mall, so like I don't.
pretty
Can a
average.
food
Yeah,
truck? Can they
exactly.
organize a food truck? Like no, they would have to like sign
Like
off
why?
with the mall and stuff too, and it's just a whole thing.
Sure. And like even then, like there's food at the mall.
Yeah, that too.
They organize everyone to go to the food court.
No, they would just bring the food court to the store. Just
Yeah.
like get a few pizzas. There you go. Merry fucking Boxing Day.
And that make me miserable. Don't fucking feed me pizza. I'll hate you forever.
Oh, I love pizza.
I guess you
feed me
didn't
pizza
live
and I'll
with
love you
mom
forever.
during that time.
What?
There was a period when I lived with mom and she didn't have a job, and she couldn't really afford to buy groceries, so we ate those like 75-cent sliced pizzas every freaking day for a very
Oh,
long time.
I
And
did not know that.
I fucking despise pizza.
Oh shit.
I hate pizza so much. It's like I hate spaghetti and chili. His mom made it so much.
I mean, I guess I kind of have a similar thing. Like I can't do frozen pizza because
I
it was like at Dad's house every day.
Oh,
Yeah, without mom there, it was like there was no one to cook, so it was like frozen pizza every fucking day.
he didn't demand you cook.
Oh, I'm sure he did, but I was useless.
Is that why he kicked you out?
Well, he kicked me out because I didn't do the dishes, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he would like expect me to fold his laundry, like including his underwear and stuff, and I was like really
Gross.
uncomfortable.
Fucking gross.
Yeah, I was like, I am not gonna fold your laundry. You're a
Shit.
grown-ass fucking man.
Mm-hmm.
And it would always be me and Eric taking turns doing the dishes. Except he would never get mad at Eric when Eric didn't do the dishes. I wonder why.
It's misogynist.
Yeah. And yeah, he would never do the dishes. Ever.
Oh. Chores are beneath him.
Yeah,
Remember
and we'd be
once-
like, what the fuck? And he'd be like, I pay the bills. Textbook narcissist.
I remember once, I think after dinner with mom, and I'm like betting her that she couldn't make Dad do the dishes. And so she turned around and yelled at Dad to do the dishes, and he's like, "Jessica, do the dishes." Mom's like, "No, I asked you." And he had a freaking meltdown.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
What a giant man child.
Mm-hmm.
Poor mom,
Yeah.
man.
I do feel bad for Mom.
Had to put up with that bullshit for so long.
Mm-hmm. Basically her whole life.
Yeah.
Like bullshit men.
Yep.
What was your update?
Oh, well, now I am doing 8 to 4 shifts 3 times a week, so I'm not doing 10 to 6 every day anymore,
Oh,
which is awesome.
when? So you get off at 4 like me?
Starting
Ooh.
today was my first time doing 8 to 4, and it was like, it's a dream.
What are you doing it for? 7 to 6?
10 to 6.
Okay.
7 to 6. Please.
That's so late. Ugh. I'd hate that.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, my battery starts to run out at 11.
See, before I started doing 8 to 4 shifts, I was like realizing that my battery like basically turns off at 4, and I was like, man, if I could just be off at 4.
You know what that means?
What?
I think you're a morning person.
I am starting to think that is true. I don't like to like be super active and shit in the morning, but I like kind of the peace and serenity of like early morning.
Yeah, same.
Like I like to get up early and just kind of
Chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm definitely a morning person. I freaking die around 3.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over it. And I do like actually getting shit done in the morning because there's no people around at all.
True.
Oh, empty. Everything is empty except for old people who are also know the secret of getting up early. Yeah.
Yeah. How
Johnny-
interesting.
I thought for the longest time that I was a night owl. Nope.
I never used to think of myself as a morning person. And I guess there was a time when I like would stay up really late and like not get up in the morning until like noon.
Yeah,
So,
same.
maybe I was at one point a night owl, but that's definitely not how I like to live my life anymore.
Same. Like, I used to stay up till 4 regularly.
During quarantine, at like the first round of quarantine,
Whoa.
like last April,
Oh, whoa.
I was like asleep till 11 and like staying up every night until like 3 to 4 in the morning.
My God, I feel so guilty when I sleep until 10. Like, I'm like, that is late.
Yeah, I mean, same. I feel that way now, but during quarantine, it was like every day was the same, so it didn't really matter.
No, cannot relate because I worked.
Oh, yeah. No, my store shut down for a while, so.
Yeah, you're in the mall.
I was not working. That's pretty much my main update. I mean, we did Mother's Day at my place.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
Nice.
I got pretty drunk.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, like long after you left and after
Oh,
Jake's family left, I was like kind of sloppy.
That's the way he likes it.
It was the drunkest he had ever seen me.
Oh.
It was like one minute I'm like laughing and dancing, and like the next minute I'm crying in the shower.
The worst. You get so drunk that you start to sob for no reason.
Yeah, it was literally like, I don't know why I'm crying, but this is happening, so good luck, Jake. Deal with this. He was very sweet.
Johnny just laughs now when I get to that point.
Yeah.
I was pretty toasted too. We ordered Indian. And I was like energetic. I was like, let's go for a walk after we eat. I pass the fuck out. I was like telling Johnny, like, Johnny, I'll get up in 20 minutes, I swear. And I just pass up for 2 hours.
Fucking liar.
Yeah.
We are so old.
Yeah.
Holy shit, we're like talking about being morning people now and like falling asleep at 4 p.m. and
Passing the burger.
getting hammered like once in a blue moon and then it turning into sloppy toppy. I mean,
I was definitely hungover, but not very bad. Like not like the headache and the room spinning bad, but like more like I just felt nauseous. And I had the sweats real bad at work too.
I see. Yeah, I was hungover, but I have Mondays off, so luckily I could just lounge at home. But it was like a tired hungover. And like I had the shits.
Oh yeah, I pooped 4 times at work on Monday. 4 times. And it wasn't like it was bad.
Yeah. It's always the worst after. Like when you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh no,
Uh-oh.
like am I hungover? Am I gonna like throw up the second I stand up? And then your body's like, I need to shit now. So we are risking this. Stand the fuck up.
Yup.
That's me every morning when I'm hungover after a night of heavy drinking.
I try not to drink too heavy. I do not like being hungover.
Yeah.
I don't like being too drunk. I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
It's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
I like to remember what's going on.
I feel like it needs to be the right environment, and I definitely haven't been in the environment where you would want to be like smashed lately.
I don't think I really want to at all. I don't mind. Like when I was younger, yeah, but like now it's like no,
Okay.
no.
I think it could be fun still.
I like getting drunk. I don't like getting too drunk.
Oh yeah. Anyway, I'm getting really tired, so
Sign out.
let's sign off. Yes. But next time we're doing Danny's chapter. And remember what happened in the last Danny chapter? Yeah. And remember how I was like, next time this shit better pop off and it not be some bullshit chapter? Well, George R.R. Martin heard my prayers, so shit's gonna pop off.
Y'all.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want more of the podcast, please follow us on Instagram. You can follow the podcast at TIGBAB Podcast, or you can follow us separately. My handle is Crimby, Jess's is Jess.Egan24. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search TIGBAB Podcast or Tea is Good, Books Are Better, and we should show up there. Also, please subscribe to our good friend Bahrami on YouTube. He's the one who made our jingle, which you heard at the start of this episode, and he's a really cool guy and makes dope stuff, so check him out. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/teaisgoodbooksarebetter. We have a few different tea-themed tiers with fun rewards, such as behind-the-scenes content, outtakes, and mini-episodes in which we force our brother to watch Game of Thrones, which he hates. So you will be getting something in return for your contribution, and you'd also be helping us improve the podcast with better equipment. But we also just appreciate you listening. And please don't forget to share the podcast with your family and your friends. It is the best way for us to grow. Come back next time for fucking Danny being a badass.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye. Adios.